down this path that I used to walk down on when I used to do my morning streams regularly. And this is meant to be a morning stream, but it's not really morning, so I can't really call it that. Because maybe I might do a stream afterwards. And I kind of today, like this morning, I only had breakfast, chilled a bit, and scripted my video that I'm meant to record either today or tomorrow. And it will release on Thursday, as usual, as with the rest of my videos. We usually do. So I'm not excited for that, but hopefully I can get that done. Because the thing is, ideating the video, like thinking of video ideas, scripting, editing, everything's fine. But recording, the problem with recording is I need to find a specific time where the house is empty, or at least near the room where I record is empty, so that there's not much noise. And I start recording the video, and I might stumble a bit and have to re-record or something because I might mess up badly. If it's a small mess up, I keep recording, doesn't matter. I'm a human, I'm pretty sure people realize that. But when it's a bigger mess up, it's just like, But yeah, but with editing, like I do it anyway. I could just plug in earphones. I'm like at the couch in the living room. I just start editing. Same with scripting, same with everything else. It's just the recording part. Like if I have a home studio where it's soundproofed and everything, that would be the dream. At least like everything in my there's nothing in my way stopping me from having like a for recording, because I stop enjoying things when there's like, you know, blocks like in the way that's making it harder to do it. And like the easier it is, the more convenient it is to make, the better. And there's a kid cycling towards me. So yeah. Let me go down. Ooh. Next to the river now. So anyway, yeah, hopefully one day when I make more money, I can have my own studio, which makes it easier. I could record at the co-working space I go to, which I might probably, if I don't record today, I'll have to record in the co-working space. But the problem with it is the background there is not very interesting. There's not much going on. It's just like this small little cube. So it might, I don't know, it might make the video less interesting to watch. I'm not very sure. So yeah, I'm thinking, because in October, I'm going to Morocco on holiday. And I'm not sure if I'm going to stream. That's one thing I'm not sure about. Because I want to, I don't go on holidays often. It's usually like once or twice a year. So I want to enjoy it as much as possible while I'm there. So if streaming means that it'll consume a lot of my time that I could be doing something else, I probably won't. But if there was some time where like I'm on my phone and not really doing something that's making the process or the holiday any more enjoyable, I might like pull out my phone and start streaming, so that I can, you know, make like inform you guys what's going on and make this channel grow faster. You know, while I'm on holiday, because I'm not doing anything productive. I just heard the water go like someone jumped in the water and there's a bunch of ducks just walking around. So yeah. But what I will do, or at least this is the plan, I don't know how it will go, I will record a video while on holiday. I don't know, like I might just record the holiday, normally like me traveling around the places that I go to, or it might be a bunch of challenges that I do on the holiday, I don't know. We'll see. Because I remember like the Bait Squad videos that are like seeming pretty fun, and they seem like they're enjoying the time when they have these challenges of like, oh, play football with a bunch of locals, organize football match, do this, and they have like a bunch of challenges when they go on these holidays. So yeah, it'll be pretty interesting if I did that with my brother or something, and we just write a bunch of tough challenges to do that will end up making the holiday better and making for good content. So yeah. All right, there was something I was going to mention last stream that I didn't end up mentioning. Oh, the wind's getting a bit strong now. That I didn't end up mentioning because the stream suddenly cut off. I was gonna I'm gonna make this into a video as well. But why I think Manchester is the best city. A lot of people argue with me and say no, it isn't the best city on the planet, and I insist that it is because I don't think there's any city on the planet that's better than Manchester. So here are my points. First of all, it's not that big of a city, especially like around central Manchester. Like when you go to London, it's such a huge city. Like if you want to go to the cinema, it's extremely far from the town centre where there's a store, and extremely far from where your house is, because you can't have a house near central London and all that stuff. In Manchester, it's much more compact. Like my house, for example, it's how long? I think like a less than 20-minute drive from like the center, and everything is like almost like everything you need is almost like in the center. There's like the town center, like the normal one, and then there's Trafford Center, which is a bit off the edge, and it's probably like 45-minute drive between them. But like everything's centered around there. Everything you need, all the huge stores, all the huge restaurants, all everything you'll need is in there. And there's not much. It's not that far from each other. Another point is that you can actually drive into the center and find parking spaces, unlike in London. London, from what I heard, is I went to London a few times before. The traffic is insane, as everyone knows. Getting into the center is extremely hard. The parking is always full, so you can never find a place to park. So your best bet is public transport or walking there, I guess, which is reasonable to do in Manchester, because in Manchester it's not that far. Like I've walked to like the center multiple times, many times, because it's not that far. Oh, hi plane, hi for. Like I've walked to like center, it's not that far. But in London, that's extremely hard. A hard thing to do because of how far it is from everywhere else. Another thing, there's two stadiums in Manchester: the Man United Stadium, the Trafford Stadium, and the Man City one, which is some of the two biggest clubs on the entire planet with like huge fan bases. So you literally got two clubs right next to you that you can go watch the matches of. The biggest indoor arena, like music arena or arena in general, not necessarily music, in the UK is in Manchester, which is called Clive Arena. That mustache ain't real, it is real. Like, yeah, it's very much real. I know you're jealous, but so the biggest indoor arena in the entirety of the UK is in Manchester, called Clive Arena, and like all the biggest artists come here. So if you, like a long time ago, I used to be in Manchester. If you want to see a big artist and they're coming to the UK, you'll have to travel 5 hours to London, and find a place to park it that's pretty far. Nice hairstyle, thank you. To get into there, but it's not the case anymore. All the biggest artists that come to UK come to Manchester now because the biggest indoor arena is in here. And they use indoor arenas slightly more because of how common rain is in the UK. So like when Drake came, he came here, like Ed Sheeran. The Brit Awards, which is the biggest awards for music, is now held in Manchester. They changed it from there. Like, who else? Like every single huge artist that you can think of has come to Manchester. Another thing is one of the best universities in Manchester, which is can you give a shout out to my dog? It's shout out to your dog. I'm just like being aware because every time a person told me, "Can you shout out something?" it ends up being like they're trying to catch me out by saying something weird. But yeah, one of the best universities in the world, University of Manchester. I'm pretty sure it's top 50. Yeah, it's in Manchester, and Manchester's not extremely busy like London is. Like you can go anywhere without having that much traffic and that being that busy. Well, yeah, genuinely, like I don't think anyone can debate with me the fact that Manchester is the best city on the planet. It just is. No, public transport here is extremely good. I mean, the Prime Minister right now that of the UK right now was the mayor of Manchester for so long. Like I think around like 9 years. I think he's been the mayor because they keep revoting him because of how good he was. And the crime rates are decreasing around by 7 to 8% every single year in Manchester, which is insane rates. Uh, what else was I gonna mention? Oh, and now I was gonna get into like more philosophical topics and more things like to think about. Let's see. I searched on like AI. I was like, what things is it safe now to travel to that area? What do you mean safe to travel to that area? Since when was Manchester not safe? It's extremely safe. Except like if you're from the USA, I know people from the USA always think that the UK isn't safe and there's a lot of knife crime. Bro, it's nothing like how it's shown in the news. Like the news makes it seem like if you're gonna get here, you're gonna get stabbed. I don't know. I've always been outside. I've always walk outside. All my friends always go out regularly. I've got like at least 20 friends that live in Manchester. No one got stabbed, and no one knows someone who got stabbed. It's extremely, extremely rare. To be honest, I've searched it up. Homicide rates or the rates of people getting killed is way higher than in every single major city in the US than it is in any city in the UK. Yeah, so if you live in the US, it'll be a lot safer in the UK, not the other way around. When I searched in AI, I was like, what philosophical topic shall I talk about? It said, talk about things that you found that like you've known in your childhood to be normal, and then when you grow up, like you grow up, you find out like that it's different. It's different than you thought, and like something when you grow up, you found that is a bit weird. And one thing that is a bit weird when I grew up is because I was born in Libya, moved to Tunisia, lived there for a while, then lived in Turkey, which is all like major like Muslim countries. Then when I moved to England, one thing I found extremely weird when I came here is the fact that when people get married, the woman has to change her second name. I found that extremely weird. Like I was like, why is that? I mean, I still don't know why that is, but like in Arabic countries where I come from, that is not the case. Not because women go like, oh, I don't want to change my second name. It's just they just don't. It's like not part of the culture. Like from where I'm from, like the children take the second name, but the woman doesn't. And that's been like the case. Even my mom doesn't have my dad's second name. Like it's just a thing in Arabic countries. I found it a bit weird when I came to the UK. Or like, oh, that's a bit of a weird thing. Well, that's the thing. When I grew up, I found it a bit weird. What else did I have on my list? Oh, I also searched in AI. I was like, can you give me like more philosophical topics? And it told me about free will not existing. And I have a lot to say about this because wait, I don't think this is the best angle to walk at because the sun's directly at the camera. But you know how people say, like some people say free will exists, some people say they don't. And of course, this is not something that there's clear evidence to support, like in terms of science, like either direction. Like you can't really know because there are areas which specifically say that there's this thing that controls how you behave. Like for example, your biology, like your how your body behaves, evolution. You do that behavior because that's what has been passed down and taught to you. Like your surroundings, like you learn your behaviors are based on what you've been punished on as a kid, so you don't repeat it or you've been rewarded for, and that type of thing. And I remember there's this guy, like, this isn't evidence that free will exists at all. I'm not saying it is, but it is an interesting thing to think about. Because I remember a guy saying that one way to know that free will exists, it isn't proof, but it is interesting to think about, is the fact that when you're at the edge of a very high place and like you're looking down, and you know, with like one step you'll fall like hundreds and hundreds of meters down and you'll definitely die. What do you feel when you're on the edge of this place? Of course you'll feel fear. You'll feel fear of the fact that you could stumble and fall down, and you also feel afraid of the fact that you have the free will to just jump. Like there's nothing stopping you from just jumping. Like, you know that impulsive thought that comes into your mind, like, there's literally nothing stopping me. And that is almost like a fear of your free will that comes into your mind. Which means that your mind obviously does believe you have free will, because that thought does appear. And it's a very interesting thing to think about, because those impulsive thoughts always happen to everyone, but no one really acts on them. I don't know if there's probably at least one guy on the planet that acts on it, but no one really acts on them, even though these thoughts do come in, because it's almost like a fear of your free will. You're afraid that you're just able to do that. Like, this happens to me all the time. Like, I just bought my new phone and I'm walking past the bridge and my phone is just here. Like, nothing's stopping me from just throwing my phone over the bridge. Not like there's nothing stopping you, and that is almost like, and then I'll just put my phone in my pocket, because almost like a fear of my free will, even though I know I'll never do that. It's just like an impulsive thought. You're afraid of what your free will is actually capable of. Yeah, that's an interesting thought to think about. But does free will exist? Yeah, I remember when I did psychology in college, and like, you're given like 5 approaches to learn in psychology on what determines behavior. The first one is biological. Like, the biological approach says that all behavior is determined by your biology, by your genes, by evolution, by like hormones and neurotransmitters like dopamine. Like, dopamine makes you feel this, which makes you act like that. Adrenaline makes you feel this, so makes you act like that. So they say that with the biological approach, they say that all your behavior is completely determined by your biology. The behaviorist approach says that your environment is what changes your behavior. So if you do something and you get punished, for example, there's a fire, you put your finger out and it hurts. It hurts your finger. So that's a form of punishment, so you never do it again, and that determines your behavior. Or the other way around, where you see a berry, you pick it up and you put it in your mouth, and it tastes nice, and that's a reward, so it encourages you to do that again. And it's almost like completely reward and punishment, and your environment and what you perceive, which determines your behavior. The cognitive approach says that it's all based on how you perceive things and how you it's based on your mind. For example, if a person sees a spider, some people would just, their mind would go like, oh, it's gonna bite me and it's gonna do this, and it's scared and run away. For other people, they go like, oh, it's a spider, it's harmless, and they put their hand out and it comes in. And both people act differently because of how their brain processes the information. Which, same like fear of dogs or anything like that. And what are you talking about? Today my uncle's birthday. Oh, happy birthday to your uncle then. Oh, I'm talking about what's it called? Free will. And free will exists, which is like in the title. And I'm giving like the approaches that I learned in psychology. So that's the cognitive approach. What else is there? There's the positivist approach, which says that we have free will, and there are berries. They're talking about berries. We have complete free will over our actions, and if a person decides to be good, it's purely based on what they wanted to do, and there isn't anything that predetermined this behavior. And of course, the positivist approach assumes that we do have what's called predispositions to do stuff. For example, if your parents were criminals, you're more likely to be criminal, but you have the free will to not go that direction. And even though you're more likely to do it, you still have the free will to do otherwise. Omar, are you happy that heat wave is gone? Bro, I'm not even sure anymore, because the heat wave came in and it went away, and now all of a sudden it's extremely sunny and it's getting kind of hot right here. I thought the heat wave was gone, but I mean, it's not as hot as when the heat wave was like at its peak and it's passing 30 degrees, but it is pretty hot and I'm beginning to like to kind of sweat. But I don't know. So sometimes, like, when it gets cold, I go like, oh, I wish it's hot. When it's hot, I go like, oh, I wish it's cold. And it's just like, it's all over the place. Like the average British person who just likes to complain about everything. What was it? So I talked about the cognitive, behaviorist, positivist, biological. There's a fifth one. I forgot. There's a fifth one. Oh, the psychodynamic. The psychodynamic approach basically says that your behavior is completely based on your childhood, and all your like behavior and your patterns of behaving is all determined by what happened to you during your childhood, and how the experiences you had in your childhood manifests itself in your adult behavior. This was, by the way, take it with a pinch of salt, the psychodynamic approach, because it was made by Freud, and Freud did have some weird opinions about stuff. Like for example, Freud said that when you're a child, you're sexually attracted to your mother, and but you're afraid of your father. And like this whole called the Oedipus complex that he came up with, and this whole process that happens, which makes children attracted to the opposite gender. And according to him, if there's a problems in the stage, that's what causes people to be gay, and stuff like that. He had some extremely weird theories, so I'll take it with a pinch of salt. Even though I do agree your childhood does have an effect, but that's not the only part of his theory. Like the Oedipus complex that I just talked about is like a very important component of his theory. I know. I was getting too excited talking pretty fast, and I accidentally turned off my phone with my finger. But anyway, I don't know how the stream still continued, but what is another thing that I was going to talk about? Oh, another theory that AI told me to discuss, which I don't have much experience in, but I can waffle about, the fact that present, future, and the past is all a static thing. Like it doesn't change. Whatever, like it's all, and they're all always happening. And change between them is an illusion of human memory. I don't even know how to go about that. Go about like decoding what that means, because of course, like we always live in the present. I've heard of these theories before, which is like all past, future, and present are all happening at the same time, and it's never really the past, and it's never really the future, and time is just an illusion. But how do they come to that conclusion? Like that's, I'm coming to the UK tomorrow. Oh yeah, you said you went to Pakistan, right? I've got another friend who also, I just was checking his Instagram story, and he just arrived at Pakistan yesterday. Also, I'm getting a BYD. Oh, I guess congratulations getting a. Is that the car? Like build your dreams, the Chinese car. Well, hopefully your holiday was good. But anyway, yeah, that's a theory in philosophy that I want to actually read into, because I've heard about a lot. So there's definitely some philosophers who thought about it and has had some evidence for it, which is the whole present, past, and future is exactly the same thing, and it's always occurring. But obviously, I don't know enough to, talk about it much, because I don't know what's the evidence for it. Like, why do they think that is the case? It's a very, very interesting topic. I remember, like, I read this whole book on philosophy in Christmas, and it was very interesting. I want to get more into philosophy, even though most of it's just a waste of time. We're just thinking about stuff that you'll never need. I don't know, like, it kind of engages your brain and makes you more, better at problem solving in general. Which country are you originally from? Libya in North Africa. Amazing country. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the stream today. I'll get back home, rest a bit, go gym in a bit, and start working on the editing stuff, and working on my business. I've got like a lot of things to complete today, but it was a good morning walk. I call it morning walk because don't leave me. Bro, I'm sorry, I'll have to leave you now, bro. I can't stay here forever. But it was a decent stream. I waffled my head off. No. It's alright, bro. It's alright. We'll be here next time, bro. So yeah, make sure to subscribe so you get notified when I next